Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Let's see. We are up and running here. Good. And it works. All right. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend. Extended weekend for a lot of you. Those of you who had to work, sorry you missed out on what looked to be a great weekend. We were able to go camping. I went up. When did I go? I went up Friday afternoon with Jerry. So Jerry had said that he wanted to do, well, before, I don't know if it was before Parker was born, but before Parker was born, and even after Parker was born, Jerry and I used to do, or the boys and I used to do Dude's Day. And it just started because I had a light schedule on Fridays, so eventually just doing the math on it, it was cheaper for me to stay home. Good morning. Good morning, Matt. Yo, what's a shack-a-lax in? So it was easier for me to stay home with Jerry than to send him to daycare because it was financially, it saved us money. So we started this thing called Dude's Day. And then when Parker was born, it obviously progressed to include Parker as well. And then, but that's kind of like died off because I've been working Fridays. And I'll probably start taking Fridays off again so that we can do those because it is a lot of fun. We do, like this Friday, we're going to do something different. But anyway, Jerry had said, he actually had said it to my mother that he goes, yeah, I really just want to have a day with Daddy camping and you know, blah, blah, all by myself before school starts. So I was like, all right, well, you know, I'm not going to miss an opportunity like that. And, you know, like we had talked about it, I had talked about it on here last week, you know, of that philosophy of, you know, making time versus, you know, using time as your ally or your enemy, and then, or using it as an excuse. So I could have said, well, you know, Jerry, you know, we're all going up tomorrow. Let's just go. No, I'm going to go. So Jerry and I went camping on Friday, and you know, when we were up there, we stopped in Old Forge. We stopped in Manlius, Oneida, Old Forge. Like the kid he was calling the shots and he wanted to stop. He's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I was like, all right, so we'd stop. Yep. I want something to snack on different than what we have in here. I was like, when we get to the next gas station, we'll stop. I was like, you know what? I don't really care. We're not on a time frame. So we're just gonna kind of, whatever happens, happens. So we get to Old Forge at probably 4 o'clock. We hit the Old Forge Hardware because you got to go there. And we walk in and he's like, I don't really like their toys. I want to go buy a book. My kind of guy right there. Let's go buy a book. So we go back to the books section and he wants to buy, they have these little like plastic pamphlets on butterflies. So we grab one of those. He's got them on fish as well as on something else. Bugs or something. So we grabbed that and I was like, all right, so let's go over to Slicker's, eat some lunch, or eat some dinner rather, and then we'll get to our campsite, which is still 2.5 hours away. Because we were camping in Rollins Pond, but we went through Old Forge to get to Rollins Pond. You can argue whether it's faster to go Route 3 over or not, but it's a much better view to go this way. So we sit down, and my game plan when I go out to eat, because one, I'm doing 75 hard, two, I'm usually, you know, 90% of the time I'm keto. I was like, all right, I'm just going to get a burger and a Caesar salad, put the burger on the salad. That's what I do whenever I go out. It's just whatever I eat. That's the only thing I eat. Unless they have like fish, like a good fish, and it's, you know, but Usually my go-to is that burger on a salad. And he goes, I read him like what's available on the kids menu. He goes, what's on the adults menu? So I'm like, chicken wings, this, and I'm going through everything. And he's like, all right, I want chicken wings because I want to eat the chicken. I want to eat the chicken off the bone. Okay. And he's like, but will you have some with me? And I was like, I don't know. And then he goes, or no, maybe I want pizza. Will you have some pizza with me if I have pizza, Daddy? Yeah, I'll have pizza with you, buddy. So we got pizza and wings. So I failed 75 hard because obviously I'm not sticking to my diet. But in failure, I always tell you that you have to look for your growth. Mine could have been my waistline because of the pizza and wings I had. No, we didn't eat that much. But really what it was is I'm not going to pass up. Like if my son asks me, Daddy, will you eat this with me? Really, I'm doing a challenge to better myself. And by me or creating a lasting memory with my son, isn't that better in the long run? Because I can start 75 hard over again, which I did today when we got back. But I can't go back and remake that memory. I can't go back and say, man, you know what? I kind of wish that when Jerry had asked me that, I could have been an asshole and been like, sorry, buddy, Daddy's got to stick to his diet. Or I could say, you know what, pal? I'm like, yeah, I'll share this pizza. Because, Jerry asks in like a very matter of fact, like highly intelligent, like miniature adult way. He's like, Daddy, will you share this pizza with me? Of course I will, buddy. I'm not going to say no. He's my oldest son. We're on a guy's trip. First time that him and I have done an overnight away from, outside of the house, away from mom. Like, sure, I'll do that with you. I can start this challenge over. I can't remake that memory. So, the next day we're hiking Blue Mountain and, we get like 7/10 of a mile in, and Jerry goes, because I took the kid's backpack. He goes, all right, I'm ready for a ride. I was like, all right, I'll give you a ride. And he goes, but I want to walk. When we can see the fire tower, I want you to let me out so I can walk to the fire tower and up it. Yeah, well, Matt, you're still not allowed to. Because your kids don't want you to eat M&Ms with them and Amish baked goods. And I don't know why you've creamed. Spell check, buddy. So we get to the top of Blue Mountain. Now, we passed some people when he was hiking. And then when he got in the backpack, we could pick up the pace. So poor them, they didn't realize. I figured it was ice cream. I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, you think my son is like some psychopathic climber. But Jerry, we're on the way back down, and Jerry walked the first 3/4 of a mile on the way down. So he ended up putting in 1.5 miles on the mountain, which is pretty damn good for 5, right? So, and anyone who's done Blue Mountain, it's not a super hard hike. It's not as technical as some, but it's not super easy. And we're on the way down, and Jerry's like bouncing off of rocks on the way down, and we pass that family, and they're just looking at him, and they're like, "Way to go, little man! I can't believe you made it all the way up and you're just bouncing your way down." And he looks dead at this old man, and this older man, he's not even old, he's like 55, and he goes, yeah, I love being in the woods. And he just keeps going. And I was like, oh, I don't have the heart to like tell this guy, like, he was in the backpack for like a little over 1.25 miles on the way up. We didn't get like 200 yards past them. He's like, Dad, can I have a ride in the backpack? And I'm like, did he seriously like know that we were going to pass them on the way up? It was just like, yeah, I just want to like rub that into them a little bit. But it was pretty funny because we saw a couple of guys, and Jerry was sitting on a rock taking a break, sipping some water, eating popcorn, and they're just like, "Damn, man, you made it this far." And Jerry's like, "Yeah, my legs are getting tired." And they both looked at each other like, "Jesus, this kid's an animal." And as soon as we saw them later at whatever the little coffee shop is in Blue Mountain, and Jerry's just sitting in an Adirondack chair, and they walk by, and he's like, "Hi guys," just complete again like a little man that and it was just the funniest thing because he was one of the guys, didn't miss a beat, and they're just like, "Hey buddy, are your legs pretty sore?" And he's like, "No, why?" I'm just laughing. I'm like, guys, you realize he rode in the pack shortly after, and they're like, still, the kid was out there climbing, and I was like, "Oh, he was." I'm like, "I'm sure he'll be sore tomorrow." He never said anything about it. So, but yeah, it was, for me, that was a fun weekend. I'm sure Jerry will remember it. So today is my initial day of 75 hard again. But as soon as it happened, I was actually having a conversation with Joe Altier, and we're kind of going back and forth about some stuff. And I sent him a picture of the pizza, and I was like, "Yeah, I was like 75 hard's going to start over again in a couple of days." I was like, we were talking about it, and he goes, it's well worth it." And you have to measure that stuff. Now, if every day he's like, "Dad, I want you to have pizza with me," then obviously that's not the point. But when you're in a situation where it's literally you're creating that first lasting memory, it's going to, you want it to be something important. And you don't want to put something like, "Oh, well, I don't want to break 75 hard because I'm 5 days in." I don't even know how far in I was. I think it was 5 days in. So it doesn't matter. To me, that doesn't matter. What matters is the memory created with him, and knowing that, what, we might not get to do that again this year. And I mean, Christ, going into 2020, everybody thought it was going to be, sunshines and rainbows. And, I don't really think that was the case for most people. So we don't know what next year is going to bring. So take advantage of every opportunity you have. And Matt, your kids don't want you to eat those Amish baked goods because your kids love the newer, thinner, trimmer, leaner, more of a machine-like Matt than previous version. So, and good morning, Deb Armstrong, silently watching, criticizing Matthew. So, a little recap of our weekend. I will tell you what, we went to Lake Placid. God, I love that town, but God, I hate people. That's what I've learned. It was so goddamn busy up there. It was insane. And not for nothing, but I think busy towns are kind of like when you're on an airplane, right? When you're on an airplane, it doesn't do you any good to be stressed out that the airplane's 10 minutes late, because you know what? It's late for everybody. So when you're you're standing in line for smoke signals, and it's 15 buildings long, and you're standing in the middle of the sidewalk. And I heard this one guy, he's like, "People are just too close to me." And I'm like, "Then get the fuck out of town." I'm like, "You're standing smack dab in the middle of the sidewalk. It's not a big sidewalk. If you feel that people are too close to you, why the hell are you standing in Lake Placid? Why are you standing in line in Lake Placid if you're oh, people aren't social distancing? How the hell are they supposed to social distance when a sidewalk is 6 feet wide and you're standing smack dab in the middle of it? You want them along the road? Because you don't want them to interfere, but you don't want to move to the right and get the hell off the sidewalk. I want to stand right smack dab in the middle." I kind of wanted to turn around and just been like, some people in this world are idiots, and you're one of them, just so you know. But I just kept walking, and I was like, wow, yeah. I was like, this is, I'm like, I feel bad for the residents of Lake Placid that people like that come and visit you. Because again, it doesn't make any sense. If you are concerned with the spread of the coronavirus, and then you have the nerve to stand in the middle of a sidewalk, standing in line for probably an hour and a half based on how long that line was, and say, people aren't social distancing, like they're not giving me any space. You want them to like cross the road and walk around you because you're standing in the middle of the sidewalk. I don't know. So yeah, we went to Lake Placid because we drove. We wanted to take half an hour up here, up Whiteface, up the toll road, which I just can't believe. And Matt, when we do that, we are definitely going pre-8 o'clock because now it's $15 for a bike, 15 a car, 15 a bike. So we are definitely going pre-8 o'clock, so then we can just skate under. We still have to coordinate that. Today's the 8th, so you're gravel grinding this weekend. Maybe I think I'm camping the 19th. Maybe the 19th or 26th. I don't know. We'll figure that out, buddy. But yeah, $15 a carload, and you can't even like go all the way to the summit because I mean you can go to the top of the parking lot to the castle, but you can't hike up the stairs to the rest of it because of the COVID. So, but yeah, it was chaos there. It was weird. So I don't know. I wasn't really happy with Lake Placid, but the rest of the weekend was phenomenal. Rollins Pond's always beautiful. We didn't catch any fish, but that won't stop us from trying. So I hope you guys have an awesome day. Here in central New York, it looks like it's going to be a good one. In Colorado, I hear you're supposed to get some snow. So I'm laughing at you, Deborah, because my time will come. So have a great day. Enjoy what you have for the beginning of fall. Today's the unofficial beginning of fall because normally kids are going back to school this week. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. I will see all you guys tomorrow because tomorrow will be Wednesday and we'll be back on our regularly scheduled stuff. Take care.